non-usual day of Friday. I'm Jez, that's Dan. Many wrestling things to talk about, but happy Spoopy week to you, Dan.
Spoopy.
As I'd like to call it sometimes when I feel like speaking like a child.
You do that a lot.
I do tend to do that a lot. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You know, I've got to let my inner child out here and there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll lose the will to live and do something crazy like watch the Ring of Honor archive or something like that.
Oh, God, don't do that.
No.
That's more like when you're depressed, isn't it?
It would make my eyes bleed. Not because the wrestling was bad, but the video quality was atrocious back in the day. And it made Ring of Honor unwatchable. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, so didn't do the show yesterday on grounds that I took my daughter out trick-or-treating. And I was back that we could have done the show at a fairly decent time. But I don't think it would have been much cop being interrupted by trick-or-treaters every couple of minutes.
Yeah, that wouldn't have worked.
So yeah, postponed to today, and as it's Friday, I think it's probably justifiable to have a little drink alongside our wrestling chat today. But before we do, as part of the usual patter, I will say that today's episode of the Main Event Podcast is sponsored by Goat Energy Drinks. You can grab yourself a can of their lovely cherry or one of their other flavours that's not as good as the cherry, but still decent, at goatdrinks.co.uk. Enter the code JEZ10 at checkout and you will get yourself 10% off and free shipping. Now, this is not an alcoholic beverage.
No, it's not.
But I've been threatening to do something with this Go Energy drink for a very long time, and I think now today the time has come. So here's my unopened can of cherry goat, and I also have a brand new bottle of Kraken.
Nice.
There was a bottle open, but it only had a tiny bit left in it. I'm like, I'll need more than that. So I thought I might have Kraken with cherry goat and see if that's up to much. To be honest,
go for it.
Yeah, I will say the Main Event Podcast is not sponsored by Kraken Black
Spice.
Can you
imagine if it was?
But we do remain hopeful. I'd happily slide you on in there with Goat Energy. Like, go to the OGs. Well, actually, they're not the OGs. Remember, what were they called? Mind
Beltmasters.
LSW. Oh, and Beltmasters as well. Yeah.
Beltmasters.
LSW Mind
LSW
cards.
Mind cards. Remember that?
Yeah, that was our original sponsor. Turns out there's not much crossover between good mental health and professional wrestling, so we had to give that one a rest. And yes, Beltmasters. And I think, am I right in saying that some of the people from Beltmasters, although they're not a thing anymore, were responsible for the? Is it for the leather?
They were
of the belt?
indeed. For the leather and the crafting of it, yes. The crafting of the metal plates as well. So,
so a good throwback of sponsors. And Kraken, we'll await your call.
Imagine we could have Goat Energy sponsor here, and then we could have Kraken underneath you.
Yeah, I put I'll put the squid on the branding.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at that guy.
He's a bad guy.
Run out of hands now.
While he's doing that, I am on cider. I'm very simple.
Fair enough. I mean, I didn't want to say it, Dan, but yeah, you are very simple.
I've said it.
I'm not going to argue with that assertion. Right, the Kraken is in.
Yeah.
Let's get some.
I've never had Kraken, so...
Oh, I love a bit of Kraken, me.
What is it? What does Kraken taste like while you're pouring that into it?
On its own, I'm not one of these crazy people that has neat rum. That doesn't really taste very good to me. Oh man, the colour this has produced. Sorry to go off tangent. I'm not sure if it's even going to come out properly.
It's gone already.
It's pretty faithful. Like the red of the.
Do you know what it looks like? And it's very Halloweeny. It's gone to blood.
It does look very blood-like. I really like that colour.
That's funky, that is.
Yeah, and I think the camera is being quite faithful thanks to the
it's actually showing it.
Yeah, like that is a funky colour. A funky goat colour, if you will. Yeah, so I've put my double shot in there, and I've still got some goat left in the can. And this is a, I want to say 14-ounce glass or a 16-ounce glass.
So pinky's out and bottom's up.
You want me to stick my arse in there, do you?
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
How's that?
That does not go, I have to be honest with you.
That is backfired on you, isn't it?
Those flavors do not mix. I'm gonna drink it anyway. But second mouthful was better than the first, but yeah, we'll see.
He looks so annoyed.
I really wanted it to be like gorgeous as the color of it. But
the problem is now you've got to try it with the other flavors.
Yeah. Would it go better with the watermelon?
What the color would be with the other flavors?
That's a good question. Maybe we'll have to either drink on a Thursday night or have another Friday night or weekend one, and I'll try it with the watermelon. I've still got some watermelon left.
There you go.
Yeah. If I was going to do the mango, either of the original or the new mango flavors, I would probably put like Malibu rum in it rather than spiced rum.
Yeah, a bit more. Yeah.
And you know what? I wonder if this would be better with white rum.
Yeah.
Yeah. It needs more of like that kind of spikier flavor rather than the spice flavor to mix with it, I think.
This has gone on to a whole different podcast.
It has, yeah. Yeah, those flavors don't go. I'm going to drink it, but they do not go. I cannot, in good conscience, recommend Go Energy drink with Kraken, but I don't think that's the fault of either product. I think some things just shouldn't.
You can recommend them individually.
Absolutely, yeah. And I've got a little bit of just goat left in the can as a bit of a palate cleanser. So yeah, that's the stuff. Yeah, that's better. Right. On that note, shall we crack on with the actual wrestling business of this show?
Crack on with the Kraken.
Yeah, and our first topic today is a long overdue discussion about our Lord and Saviour Zack Sabre Jr. reigning as the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, winning the belt about 2.5 weeks ago.
Something like that,
at King of Pro Wrestling in Japan. And immediately, Zacky Boy brought the belt over to the UK, defended it at Royal Quest against our former Lord and Saviour, Sanada. How does it feel to have a British IWGP World Heavyweight Champion? I know Ospreay won the IWGP World Championship. Or was it just... No, it was the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at the time.
IWGP Heavyweight, yeah.
And then when they merged it with the Intercontinental, it became a new belt with a new lineage. And I think Zack is the 11th citation needed champion?
Yes.
And like the 6th different person to hold it because Naito's had multiple reigns.
Yeah.
I think Okada had multiple reigns. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. But yes, as I asked, British IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, how does it feel to be represented?
It feels banging. Feels brilliant. Love it.
Yeah. I questioned whether it was going to happen, to be honest with you. I felt like, the rational, normal, celebratory part of me thought they're setting this up for Zack to win the belt and bring it home to England, and then they'll do something different for Wrestle Kingdom. But the cynical, not trusting in the pro wrestling world part of me was like, they're never going to do that because it breaks the tradition of the G1 winner going to Wrestle Kingdom. And I thought he'll lose that and then he'll win it at Wrestle Kingdom when he gets another shot because they're like, oh no, the G1 winner gets a shot regardless of if you tried to cash it in before or something. But yeah, so I wonder now, with all of this in mind, what the plan is for Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to see a rematch with Naito. It's very clear that they are, starting to put Naito into mothballs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, his career has had its heyday, I think. He can still go. Don't get me wrong, but
he can still go.
I'm not sure that they'll put the world championship on him
The
again.
years are catching up with him, shall we say?
Yeah, mostly due to the the eye ailment that he has got, which is unfortunate. But I'm sure he will have a long career helping out the young lions and all that kind of stuff like they do. Unrelated, but Hiroshi Tanahashi also announced that he's going to retire not at this coming Wrestle Kingdom, but the Wrestle Kingdom after in 2026.
Yeah.
So he's going to have a retirement tour at exactly the same time as John Cena, which is kind of neat, being as they've been around pretty much the same time. So they've got the Dynasty AEW crossover show the next day as well. I did wonder if they were going to do Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson 3 at that event. But obviously things have changed there, and Danielson is now retired and gone straight to have surgery on his neck and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they could do against whoever is the AEW champion at the time, Moxley currently, but who knows if he still will be by January.
Yeah.
It's all up in the air. And the
Who
normal
knows?
certainty that we have all the way in August through to what will be the main event of Wrestle Kingdom in January is just not here. And I don't know what to do with it other than go that it's come home. That's all I can do is just whenever someone says, so what's the Wrestle Kingdom match? Like, well, it's come home, isn't it?
It's come home.
That's all I can say about it. Like we thought it was coming home, and it has indeed come home.
It has come home.
Yeah. G1 came home, and now the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship has come home. So what are you going to do? Maybe he can have the night off.
Yeah. Have a night off. Have a chill.
Go down the pub, drink some
Kraken
vegan beer or whatever vegans drink. I don't know. I'm not a vegan. Is this vegan? I think it is, isn't it?
I think it is. I have a feeling it is.
I felt like it was designed to be. I don't even remember. Maybe not. Looking at the can, it would probably have a big vegan symbol on it that I wouldn't be able to miss if it was vegan, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I doubt they've put like a steak in it or anything, so
no.
Who knows? What have we got? Water, cherry, flavorings, carrot, coffee bean. I don't see any reason why this isn't vegan.
Oh, I'm sure somebody will find a reason.
Maybe the coffee beans make it not vegan because a monkey sniffed it or something. I don't know. Either way. Yeah. Any further thoughts on Zack Sabre Jr.?
No, just well done to him. He deserves it. I hope he has a decent reign.
Well said. Well said. That drink still doesn't go. Moving forwards, in the last fortnight, we have lost one of the greats, not to death, but to leaving WWE. Samantha Irvin has departed WWE, and in a move that I think many people were calling for, but not me, Lillian Garcia is back as the lead ring announcer for Monday Night Raw. Thoughts about all of that?
I'm not really surprised that Samantha has left, considering her fiance has left the company. So I was kind of like expecting it a little bit. She was an amazing ring announcer, don't get me wrong. And I would go as far as say better than Lillian.
I wouldn't even qualify that she is better than Lillian Garcia. Like, she is absolutely better than Lillian Garcia. I think Samantha Irvin, and I say this completely matter-of-factly, without any, sensationalism. I think Samantha Irvin is the best ring announcer that WWE has ever had. And I know that you have, the old greats like Howard Finkel and Tony Chimmel was pretty decent too. But I think the energy and the passion and the way that she delivered all of her announcements puts her above and beyond any ring announcer that WWE has ever had. And I agree with you to an extent. It was kind of inevitable after Ricochet left that Samantha Irvin would follow. Lots of people think that it would be because she would just follow him to AEW and ring announce there. But as it turns out, no, she just didn't like being a ring announcer and wanted to do other things. WWE were like, no, you ring announcer, you ring announce. And she was like, okay, I'll just leave then.
Yeah.
And that's just dreadfully sad.
Yeah.
It would be like somebody telling Mozart, like, oh, you can just stick to, tinkling the keys a little bit. And if you want to grow, then you can stop. And then Mozart just stopping doing what he did. It's just a real shame. And if we weren't upset enough, then we got Lillian Garcia back, who is hands down the worst announcer in WWE history. And we've had some stinkers, but I know lots of people love Lillian Garcia, and I'm sure she's a lovely person. She seems like a lovely person, and I've got no ill will against her as a person.
Yeah.
But her voice, to me, sounds like nails on a chalkboard. All of her ring announcements go into this screechy high pitch that just hurts. And there's no energy behind what she does. She botched literally the first ring announcement that she made in her return and botches her ring announcements regularly. I just don't understand the appeal of Lillian Garcia. Originally, it was like, wonderful. There is a woman doing ring announcing, and that is not a thing that happens. But, we've had a string of decent female ring announcers now, including Samantha Irvin. And I don't understand why you've fallen back to Lillian Garcia when, for a start, you've got Alicia Taylor on SmackDown, who is very, very good as well. Love Alicia Taylor as a ring announcer. She's got the same kind of energy as Samantha Irvin, but has got an even bassier voice, which really suits wrestling ring announcing. You can't be screechy ring announcing. It just doesn't work. You've got to have gravitas, and Lillian's got none. And then you've got poor Mike Rome, who's been demoted to NXT and is one of the best ring announcers of this generation as well. And, is a massive Power Rangers fan as well, which helps his cause. I just don't understand why you would turn back to Lillian Garcia. I just don't get it.
Because you were desperate and she's doing it and nothing.
Well, yeah, I suppose that is the answer. Because she was cheap, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. She realised she made a terrible mistake leaving a few years ago. And they were like, would you like to come back for peanuts? Yeah, I would. Yeah. It's probably not peanuts, but peanuts compared to other members in WWE, I would suggest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that one day Samantha Irvin wakes up and realizes she's made a terrible, terrible mistake and comes back to ring announcing. It doesn't have to be in WWE. If those bridges are burned, then she can go and ply her craft elsewhere. I quite rate all of the ring announcers in AEW as well, though, to be fair. Justin Roberts is really good.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of the new girl who is Brian Cage's fiance, who's been doing ring announcing on Collision, but she's pretty decent as well. I think the takeaway on this is there are only very few bad ring announcers. Jade Chung in TNA is one of them, and Lillian Garcia is the other. And both because they're pitchy and grating. Yeah. And, at least one of those things you could accuse me of being of, but pitchy is not one of them.
No.
Definitely not pitchy.
Not at all.
We move forwards into a discussion of an actual wrestling event. TNA Bound for Glory took place last weekend. Was it last weekend?
Yeah.
Yes. The hallmark event on the TNA calendar. We predicted it. We're going to talk through some of the results and discuss some key moments from it. But I will say, coming into Bound for Glory, The prediction sat at me 61, you 55. So quite a deficit there. All this, of course, for the Main Event Podcast World Prediction Championship. Didn't merge with an Intercontinental Championship. It's always been a World Championship, and you can deal with it. I've picked out 3 key moments from Bound for Glory that merit discussion, and they're title related on the most part. First of all, Masha Slamovich defeating Jordynne Grace to become TNA Knockouts World Champion. Do you think there is some kind of ulterior or sinister motive for getting the belt off Jordynne Grace coming to the end of a calendar year? Wink, wink.
Yeah, possibly.
We saw her straight away make her way to NXT, and looks like she's going to be part of a prominent story in NXT for a little while. Rumor has it that her contract expires with TNA in early January, because I think she signed an extension for last year when they became TNA again and relaunched. So, I mean, the Royal Rumble is a thing.
February 1st or something like that.
It's February this year, isn't it? Yeah. They've pushed it back to Pro Bowl weekend again, as used to be the tradition before the NFL changed their schedule. So, I don't want to be cynical about it and think, oh, she's only lost it because they don't want her to take the belt with her when she leaves TNA, but it could quite possibly be the reason. Do you think Masha Slamovich was the right person to defeat her, and she's in her first reign?
I don't think it is the right person, personally.
I feel like in terms of longevity in the company, Masha Slamovich is certainly there. She is definitely TNA through and through. She's not sniffed at another company.
No.
But
it's because no one else would have her.
I did wonder that. Yeah. You know, you've got the Russian connection, and certainly lots of people won't touch her just because she's Russian, rightly or wrongly. But I don't know. I don't even know who would be the best person to dethrone her. I did kind of hope that they were going to mix it up with someone in NXT, and it'd be someone in NXT that dethroned her.
Don't be so stupid.
And then vice versa. You know, it'd be a TNA wrestler that dethroned Roxanne Perez.
Don't be so stupid.
Yeah. Why make a good story out of your connection that you have
because
with companies?
That does not happen.
Nope, still doesn't go. Right. Next up, we move to what should have been the main event, but weirdly wasn't the main event. The TNA World Championship. A match in which Joe Hendry was screwed out of the world title by JBL.
Why can't Joe Hendry get a break in TNA?
I asked this very question as I watched it. I'm like, I just don't understand why you have not strapped a rocket to this guy, given all of the popularity that he has right now. And, you know, I was watching it in the living room, and my wife said, well, you know, he's likely to be WWE bound soon as well, isn't he? And it's like, yeah, probably, but there's at least a year left on his contract. So why would you, as a company, not take advantage of his popularity while you have him on your roster?
Why don't they give him the World Championship and then let him go to Eurovision Song Contest with it?
I mean, it would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Joe Hendry is planning on launching a Eurovision Song Contest bid to be Britain's entry in 2025.
I am all for it.
I'm all for it as well. Yeah. I hope he doesn't change, you know, I believe in Joe Hendry too much. Just maybe an extra verse. We discussed that it needs an extra verse.
Yeah, it needs an extra verse, because I think it's only like 1 minute 30 at the moment.
Yeah, that's not long enough. Yeah. It just needs another verse that's similar to the London, Paris, Tokyo bit, and then break into the second bit, and instead of wave your hands, it can be something. Do this thing from side to side and say, I believe in Joe Hendry. Instead of wave your hands, it can be, I don't know. Shake your head from... No, that's crap.
No. Shake your hips.
Move your booty from side to side and say...
Okay, we know that Jeremy is never going to write songs. Moving on.
Shake your booty. Shake your booty.
Can't sing either.
I mean, I'm not the artist here. It's Joe Hendry, but another verse, definitely. The same kind of feel.
Yeah.
Just mix the words up a bit. I'll leave it with him. He's the creative genius.
But TNA need to basically strap a rocket to Joe Hendry while they've still got him.
Yes, absolutely. That is the crux of what I'm saying. Thank you for getting right to the point again. And I just don't understand this constant. I mean, if you didn't want to put the world title on him, why put him in the world title match at all?
Constantly.
The only decent outcome of this was him winning. And I know you're trying to push, the JBL in TNA connection, and that's cool. Great for them having JBL about clotheslining people. There was a photo posted of JBL in the gym the other day, and he looks jacked. So I don't know whether he's actually planning on some kind of comeback. He said he also had some other kind of therapy that meant that he was, feeling a lot better and could potentially step back into the ring. So maybe he's going to have a little resurgence in 2024-25. Who knows? But just leave Joe Hendry out of it. If you're not going to put the world title on him, then just put him in feuds with people that he can win.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just wasting all of the potential that he has created for himself. It's almost as big a fumble as, Zack Ryder in WWE getting himself over on YouTube and then them doing nothing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then concluding Bound for Glory, and something that I didn't expect to enjoy in any way, shape, or form, but really did, was the Full Metal Mayhem match, which had been Jeff Hardified, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And the Hardys winning the TNA World Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you, as a Jeff Hardy fan, was very happy about. Yeah. I'm not a fan of Jeff Hardy's art. I'm on record as not being a fan of Jeff Hardy's art or any of his creative endeavors whatsoever. But I really liked all of the paint jobs on the tables and the ring apron and all of that. Like, I think he's improved.
See, you're coming over to the dark side.
He's actually painting things rather than feelings now, which helps. Like, painting abstract things is just not something I'm a fan of. But when you can actually tell what it is they've painted, I'm down for it. Yeah. This has been the art critique portion of the Main Event podcast that everybody was expecting and tuning in for.
Yeah, clearly.
Another tag team championship reign for the Hardys. Could quite possibly be their last. Who knows? Do you think that they should parlay this into an appearance on NXT as the TNA World Tag Team titles and maybe defend them against some of the tag teams over there?
Yeah, why not?
I know that they would like to get back into WWE again, obviously, for obvious reasons. And I expect that one day they will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. But I don't see any of the powers that be in WWE even entertaining that fact until they have actually retired.
Yeah.
It won't be a, come and have a retirement tour in WWE and then you get put in the Hall of Fame. It'll be, quietly retire somewhere else and let the world forget about you for a bit.
Yeah.
Then we'll put you in the Hall of Fame when there's no threat of you breaking out into a wrestling match again.
Yeah.
I don't think WWE have got very much interest, certainly in a main roster return.
No.
But, NXT, it could work.
Few appearances in NXT, why not?
Yeah. And being that NXT is in the ECW arena next week, I know that the Hardys were not ECW alumni, but you're going to have Bubba Ray Dudley there.
Yeah.
Known for its extreme. Tables, ladders, and chairs is certainly extreme, and I'm sure that will be brought up a few times. And so maybe the Hardys turning up at that show could be a winner. Last thing I will say about that is it was nice to see. They posted a photo on Instagram. The Hardys, TNA World Tag Team titles, and Private Party, the new AEW World Tag Team champions, they got together.
Nice.
It was either after Dynamite on Wednesday or last night. They got together and celebrated, and that connection was strong in AEW. So
lovely.
It's nice to see Private Party get some kudos finally as well. Especially because it means the Young Bucks aren't going to be there for a few months, and I'm all for that. I'm really.
We love that. Personally. We're all for that.
Any other thoughts or feelings about TNA Bound for Glory? Did you generally enjoy the show?
It was all right.
Yeah. It's certainly better than a lot of what TNA have offered in the last few years. Definitely on the up. Again, they haven't quite got back to that really excellent period in 2021 where we were just like, we'll watch Impact Wrestling and we won't watch anything else because they're the only company providing anything entertaining. But they're getting there. They're getting there.
Yeah.
They just need to believe in Joe Hendry a bit more.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Prediction-wise for Bound for Glory, wasn't the best showing for me, if we're being honest. You did very well. You got 9. Congratulations. That's a good score.
Smug.
And we'll move on to Halloween Havoc, shall we?
Well, what did you get?
I didn't get 9.
Okay, well, what did you get?
It was a number less than 9.
Well, considering I can see the notes, Jeremy, do you just want me to say it?
That doesn't go. Yes, you can say the number.
He got 5. I got 9. I got almost double.
I did wonder if that would hurt less you saying it rather than me saying it out loud, but no, that was painful.
No, what that feeling you're feeling is the drink you're drinking.
No, it's not bad. It just doesn't. It wasn't the beautiful blend of 2 beautiful flavors that I was expecting. Yeah. Best drunk separately. Go energy drink and Kraken.
Yeah.
Both enjoyable on their own. Not so much together, but I'm going to drink it anyway because I'm committed now.
Yeah. Anyway, as you said, moving on to Halloween Havoc.
Yeah. I guess we will. Yeah. So, I do think that Bound for Glory was better than Halloween Havoc.
Yes.
I will go out on a limb and say that. Not quite as much to discuss, really, as far as I'm concerned, without bringing future NXT events into it. But something quite interesting that I found, and you predicted this correctly and I didn't, so you can explain your thinking there. Tony D'Angelo defeating Obafemi again, and apparently Obafemi is now main roster bound, which is very early in that man's career, if those rumours are true. So I went for Obafemi. You went for Tony D. What was the rationale behind that prediction?
So I feel like Tony D has kind of deserved a singles title for a long time because he is, despite his gimmick and all that, he is quite good in the ring. He knows what he's doing and all that. And I think to lose it in his first title defense,
it would have been harsh, but
it would have been very harsh. But
Obafemi is Obafemi. Look at the guy.
Yeah.
It would have been totally fine.
And because of what Obafemi had done to the family, I could see, obviously, I had in my head that Tony D is just going to go absolutely bonkers. And I was thinking, is the family going to get involved? I know they've all been taken out by Obafemi, but which they did get involved. So I was
absolutely did, yeah. And definitely the family were the reason that Tony D was able to retain. But it was just shocking for me, quite honestly, that they did have Obafemi be beaten twice in a row by the same person. But if he is indeed on his way up to the main roster, it makes sense. You lose on your way out. That's the way that goes. So yeah, that was one of the points that you got prediction wise. We'll get to total scores for Halloween Havoc in a little while, but let's just say there weren't many more points between us, let alone individually. So yeah. Next up, a move that I very much welcome but did not predict. Fallon Henley winning the Women's North American Championship in a gauntlet match. Yeah. You went with Kalani Jordan to retain, which I can totally see. I went with JC Jane to win. I think it was a toss-up between her and Fallon Henley. I went with JC Jane as somebody who's been in NXT longer and is certainly more main roster ready and needs a championship accolade really before she can entertain moving up to the main roster. But Fallon Henley, is that as well, I believe. So I think that's a good choice. How are you finding Fatal Influence as a stable?
I feel they are trying too much to be Toxic Attraction.
They are, and I hate saying this because I really hate when people say it, but they are definitely Toxic Attraction from Temu, aren't they?
Yes.
And I hate when people say that because it's always used very derogatorily, if that is even how you say that word. And it just winds me up. Like when they started calling the Temu bloodline for, the Gorillas of Destiny and Solo Sikoa, I'm like, oh, come on. Like, there's no need for that. Like, it's just insulting and there's no need. But in this case, unfortunately, I think that applies.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't just create a new vibe for this team. They didn't need to be a Toxic Attraction ripoff. It's only got one of the original members of Toxic Attraction and the worst of the three of them, frankly. No offense intended for JC Jane. I'm just stating facts. Yeah, they're not doing it for me either. I think is really what that comes down to. Watch your spoopers, says Tamsin in the chat. We're feeling pretty spoopy. I've put together a spoopy drink, Tamsin.
He's drinking blood.
This is a mixture of Funky Goat energy drink, the cherry flavour, and Kraken rum. Actually, this bottle might have come from you, Tamsin, now that I think about it. Could have done. I amassed quite a lot of Kraken over the years, and I'm gradually working my way through it. But yeah, it does look like a very spoopy drink, doesn't it?
He's being a vampire.
I must tell you, it tastes very spoopy. These flavours do not mix very well whatsoever. I would not recommend it. And again,
but he's soldiering through and drinking it.
No offense intended to the good people at Go Energy Drinks, because this product is fantastic. And no offense intended to the good people at Kraken, because this product is fantastic. But if you mix two fantastic products, it makes not a very nice drink. So there you go. Yeah, they say, two wrongs don't make a right. Well, two rights don't make a right either.
No.
You heard it here first. Yeah. Such a trooper. A spooper trooper. Yeah.
Spooper trooper.
Yeah.
Spooper trooper.
Yeah, you can't sing either. Let's get back to Halloween Havoc. Concluding the show was obviously the main event, the NXT Championship. Not much to say about that. It was what it was. It was designed to put Trick Williams over and use Ethan Page to do that. So, cool. I think the main story was the post-match intervention by Bubba Ray Dudley.
Yeah.
And what has happened since, that we're going to have Trick Williams and Bubba Ray Dudley against All Ego Ethan Page and
Ridge Holland.
Ridge Holland, thank you. I'd forgotten his name. It's
Ridge Holland.
It's not a particularly memorable name, Ridge Holland. I don't quite know whether they came up with that one for this guy, but that's his name, and we will use it if we can remember it.
From Yorkshire, England.
Did you want to see Bubba Ray Dudley back in a ring?
Take it or leave it, really.
I will say, I did not want to see Bubba Ray Dudley back in a wrestling ring. I was happy to see Bully Ray back in a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
But I feel like those are very different characters. And they teased me on NXT, you know. He drops the, do you know who I am? Bully Ray line. I'm like, he's going to do it. He's going to say, I'm Bully Ray. And then the people will go nuts. But he didn't do that. And it was disappointing. I'm like, damn it. Like, come on, man. Like, just bring back the aces and eights. That's all I'm asking. I don't ask for much in this life. I just want the aces and eights back. Like, low-key, I thought that they were one of the best stables of all time. And I know that most people don't think that, and I don't care. But I love the aces and eights, and I want the aces and eights back. Just saying.
Done.
Did you like the aces and eights?
Yeah, they were all right.
Yeah. They were fine until they got, Garrett Bischoff and that other random jobber in. I'm like, no, this has jumped the shark now.
Yeah.
The OGs, Mr. Anderson and Bully Ray and Devon, I suppose.
AJ Styles was in it with him, wasn't he?
He was in there for a short period, yeah. I mean, I would argue that without AJ Styles being in the Aces and Eights, he wouldn't have bothered going and doing Bullet Club stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was what convinced AJ Styles that he could be a credible heel, because he'd struggled to be a heel until that moment, really. Yeah. But there you go. There
you go.
The twists and turns of decisions made and the aces and eights, I think, have influence to this day. I'm saying. But we've got the ECW arena show, or the 2300 arena show, coming up on Wednesday. Head to head with Dynamite. Lol, that would be bad for AEW, unfortunately.
That'd be interesting.
All to avoid the election, I think, is what happened.
Oh God.
The US election results and things. Or maybe they're on the same day. It's avoiding something. Maybe it's avoiding hockey. There's definitely some kind of avoidance going on. November the election's Monday. If they're still talking about the election by Tuesday, then that'll be impressive. But yeah, they're avoiding something. It must be hockey then.
Yeah.
Or basketball? Maybe it's the NBA kickoff. That would make sense. I don't know.
Something.
Whatever the CW have got rights to, they're avoiding that.
Yeah.
By putting them on the Wednesday. I'm quite looking forward to the ECW show. I hope it's more leaning into the extreme nature of ECW as opposed to trotting out old people from the past that can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
We've got Bubba Ray Dudley in the main event. Fine. We've got Dawn Marie as a special guest referee. Fine with that too. That's kind of the pace. RVD's going to be there in some capacity.
Yeah.
We can't quite work out what he's doing. I'm not sure he knows what he's doing most of the time, so that's
he doesn't
fine.
know what he's doing any of the time.
I hope we get Rhino.
That'd be cool.
As part of that TNA partnership.
Yeah.
Brand new TNA Hall of Famer. I feel like Rhino could make an appearance and gore someone. Maybe someone big. That could be how they write Obafemi out. He gets gored through a stage.
Yeah, there you go.
By Rhino.
There you go.
He's got a form of doing that, so that works.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I should be the booker, but I probably should be the booker.
What, the Booker T?
No, not the Booker T, although I do a better job than him on commentary as well. Not that that's difficult. Like, Potted Plant would do a better job on commentary than Booker T.
Yeah, we know your views on Booker T, don't worry.
Yeah, they haven't got any better.
Don't start ranting.
Yeah, they don't set me off. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to see what AEW do to counter that. If anything,
they probably won't.
They probably won't. They're quite confident in their product. And I will leave that statement as it stands. Halloween Havoc predictions. As I alluded to, we did pretty damn badly, to be honest. I'd say that you did pretty badly by getting 2 correct predictions.
Yeah. But what did you get right, Jeremy?
I got less than 2. Yeah, I mean, it's not quite as cryptic as it is when you had 9 and I had less. Yeah. I am the one. Maybe I can bring back the Jimmy Uso way. Yeet. I'll do it that way instead. Although he's no yeet. Let's get that right.
Yeah.
Which means with your blowout of TNA Bound for Glory predictions and still doing better than me in this one, the scores on the doors with not very long left to go. This quarter runs until Survivor Series, which is 4 weeks away.
Something like that.
I am on 67. You are on 66.
Don't call it a comeback.
It's a pretty good comeback. You were behind by 6 coming into the show, and now you've got
to admit that is impressive.
I mean, it's not quite as impressive as the comeback I did a few months ago, but it's pretty cool.
Still impressive
if you are you.
Yeah.
Which I am not, so that's not cool.
Are you getting nervous now?
A little bit. Yeah.
Are you going to go and stroke the title?
I might do in a minute, yeah. I was at the point where I was going to learn how to, like, polish properly and clean leather properly because I felt like I was going to keep it for another quarter. But now I'm like, maybe I'll leave that for Dan to do. He can do the hard work. If he's going to steal my championship belt, he can do the bother of, polishing it and making it look pretty. And then I'll win it back again when it's nice and clean.
No, because I'll rub my fingerprints all over it before I send it to you.
That wouldn't change much compared to how it is now with my fingerprints all over it, to be honest. But there we go. That is our show. We have many things to discuss next week. There is WWE Crown Jewel coming up this weekend, in which 2 pointless championships will have been awarded to 2 people. They don't get to take the belt home with them because why would you want that belt on television? No, that's staying in Saudi Arabia, and they're gonna get a Super Bowl ring or something.
Yeah,
cool.
Dynamite diamond ring.
It's going to look like the Dynamite Diamond Ring, and it'll probably be stolen by someone when they come to London, like the Dynamite Diamond Ring was. And then, as we said, the thing that we are genuinely excited about, NXT being taken to the extreme, as well as any other wrestling news that crops up in the next week. There's lots of exciting things coming up, leading up to Full Gear and closing the year out with Survivor Series. And I think that's going to be the last main roster premium live event for WWE again. I don't think they've got anything else. NXT will have Deadline, but I think Survivor Series is it for the main roster.
Yeah, I think so.
Either way, we'll be here talking about it all, mixing drinks together that really shouldn't be mixed. And we'll see you next week. I've been Jez.
I've been Dan.
This has been the Main Event Podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.